welcome to an extra spooky edition of Fortress of Comic News. I'm Chris.
Mike, spooky. I was gonna say spooky dookie, but dookie means shit, doesn't it? So
Yeah, according to Green Day, it does.
Was it Green Day? Oh yeah, I was thinking Blink-182. It is Green Day. Hello,
47.
47. Welcome. Hey, all right. Yes, Halloween is upon us, and I finished Stranger Things season 2, so we're gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna spoil too much because Chris hasn't seen it, and I'm just gonna give you my general overview of how I felt about the series. It fucking sucked. Don't watch it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't. Just April Fools. Yeah, we got some good stuff here. November is almost upon us already, so that means Thor in a week, and then a couple more weeks is Justice League, and then it's basically December and Star Wars.
17th,
so,
the day from hell.
Yeah. Why is it the day from hell?
Because I have Justice League, Punisher, and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon that day.
Oh, man. It's like, how do you prioritize?
I know, it's tough.
They make it so hard to be a fan of pulp culture nowadays. You know, you just can't you can't be engrossed in everything. It's just a little bit here and there. So let's talk about some movie news. Out of the blue, out of left field, I can't believe we never thought of this ourselves. I'm a little upset. And me, especially because I was a huge Chuck fan. Did you watch all Chuck?
I've never watched Chuck.
Anybody? I don't even know if it's on Netflix anymore. Chuck was a show starring Yvonne Strahovski, was a very beautiful blonde actress, and Zachary Levi, who's a very very good-looking geeky guy, which, you know, we can all relate to that, right? Drop dead gorgeous geek man who works at Best Buy. Anyways, he basically teams up with Yvonne, who is like, I don't know, she's like an undercover spy, and he gets this codex in his mind, so now he has to work with the spies. It's a really good show. There's a lot of pop culture references, a lot of nerd references. But anyways, I mean, I haven't seen him since Chuck. I think Chuck went for like 7 or 8 seasons. I think it's all on Netflix still. And then they had him in the new. Remember when they rebooted Heroes?
Yes.
And it like died. They're like, wow, nobody wanted to watch this. He came back for that. Well, he didn't come back. They brought him along, and I was like, oh, maybe I should watch this because I really like him. And then I was like, no. And I know he has a podcast or some type of thing where he's really involved with. I don't know if it's just comics or just nerd stuff in general, but he's been announced this week. It's official off his Instagram, so I don't think it's just him being like, "Yeah, I should do this." There's confirmed reports that he's been weightlifting and stuff. He's been announced as Captain Marvel, Shazam. So, and I'm excited for it. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, he's got to bulk up because he doesn't have the body for it right now. But from what I've seen of him, it looks good. I mean, he's got a klutzy sense of humor, and
if you watch Chuck, he definitely can pull off the kid in a man's body, because I mean that's all he is in Chuck. And it was confirmed from the guy who trains like all the DC heroes that just gets them jacked. He was like, yeah, he's already been hitting the gym hard. So I can only imagine, like, when Zod came to into the movie, like, that actor, I can't think of his name right now, but he was jacked in that movie, and he's not. I mean, typically he's not a big guy. So I think, I mean, obviously the comics, he's like, Shazam is huge, like bodybuilder, huge. I don't know if we're gonna see that, but I saw some pictures online of, like, you know, him with a suit on where he's relatively larger than normal when it's realistic, and it doesn't look bad. But yeah, I'm excited. They apparently, with those DC movies, they do some like really intense stuff. I had heard stories of when they're doing Man of Steel, like Zod and everyone else, they were like lifting in between scenes, like where they're about to film a scene with Zod, he's like deadlifting and like cleaning press, and then they go and like do a scene, so they're all like pumped up. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. So they definitely. I mean, the superhero bodies are something that it's like it's not real. It's not like people just don't look like that.
No. I'm excited that we're finally moving forward with the Shazam movie. I really like the character and think he's going to break out personally.
Yeah. And then we got another announcement. Deathstroke is getting his own movie, and it was kind of speculation whether he's going to be the villain for the Batman movie. And Ben Affleck had released some test footage, I think, on his Twitter of Deathstroke. We already know Joe Manganiello, or whatever his name is playing him. But now he's getting his own standalone movie, and it's going to be directed by Gareth Evans, the director of the Raid movies, which is great because if anybody's seen the Raid, it's just an hour and a half, I think, or 2 hours of just nonstop action.
Which is what a Deathstroke movie needs to be.
Yeah, it's the first one is just him running through a building. It's just one guy taking on hundreds of guys. So I mean, what Deathstroke is known for that. Like that's his superpower. Is he's a one man army.
Yeah, that's another one that was a really cool idea. It came out of left field. I like Deathstroke. I kind of wish he was the villain somewhere first, but he still might be. Who knows?
He might be. I think if they showed him as the villain in like the Batman movie, and then I want him to explore like because there's more to Deathstroke than just killing people. You find out the reason of like why he's the way he is with his family, and there's a lot. He's basically Punisher, right? I mean, it loses the family, and now he's just like doing jobs for hire. Yeah, but so that's some cool stuff going on.
And he's another one I could see really breaking out because the character design for Deathstroke is just awesome, and people really love that character on Arrow as well. So there's some semblance of knowing who he is at least.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Arrow a little further down, but so I got bored yesterday, and I just watched the Justice League and Star Wars trailer when I'm like bored, and I watched it again, and the newest Justice League trailer. This might just be me, but if you watch it and you Batman or Bruce Wayne is talking about how like we need to do whatever for Superman, and he's looking at a hologram of like a cape and a boot, and we assume it's Superman, right? But what's different, and I don't know what made me notice this, but the cape doesn't go past the boot. It's like the cape cuts off just above the boot. And then I started researching. I did like some like Da Vinci Code shit where I was like going down the rabbit hole, and I found all the Man of Steel costumes. His cape like either touches the ground or like goes past his shoes. And then I compared it to the Supergirl costume on the TV show, and her cape goes above her boots. Now there's several theories, and so let's talk about Man of Steel really quick. This wasn't even in the notes. I'm just going off on a tangent here, but hear me out. We already know in Man of Steel that I think Supergirl was confirmed, or there was another pod there that wasn't explored on the ship or something like that. Someone had confirmed that Supergirl was part of that universe. So maybe in the first trailer when they're like, when Alfred's like, "You said you would be showing up," that it's not Superman, but it's Supergirl. Now, wouldn't that not be an awesome twist to like keep it completely out of the movie, no reference at all, just boom, you have some awesome actress show up, and it's Supergirl. You know?
I love the theory. I
Okay.
really do.
Okay.
I'm gonna tear it down for you though. I don't think Marvel, DC, anybody could hold on to that secret that long. I have a hard time believing that won't come out before the movie, especially if there's a big name actress involved. I want it to be real because I love that idea.
Yeah, I know, and man, I'm just excited for that movie. You know, we got the official running time for Justice League. It is 2 hours. It's not 3 hours like everybody's. It's gonna be 3 hours.
I'm down for 3 hours.
2 hours, which is strange because I remember they originally announced it was gonna be like part 1, part 2, and now we're getting just Justice League for 2 hours. I almost wonder if that's not long enough.
There's a lot going on in that movie. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. And depending on, they might have finally got Chris's letters where he's like, no more fucking origins. I can't. Maybe they're just like, we're cutting out all the, unless they just like, maybe they can skip through, like Aquaman and Cyborg, or we already kind of got Cyborg's origin.
Well, you can do a Cyborg origin, but do it like you did in Batman v Superman, where it's like part of the credits.
Yeah.
Don't do Aquaman. If you really gotta do Aquaman, wait till his solo movie.
Yeah.
And everyone else doesn't need one. No one else needs one.
So the Avengers, I just looked this up really quick because I was curious for myself. The original Avengers movie is 2 hours and 23 minutes long. But then you got to keep in mind they didn't do any origins. Like, I think they were all established by the time they did the Avengers movie.
Yeah, every character had already shown up in the movie.
We're not going to speculate too much on that. Whatever. I trust them that they know what they're doing now. I hope. All right. Let's talk about TV because we ignored it last time.
From the big screen to the small screen.
Or do you want to talk about? Do you want to save the '60s Batman stuff?
Yeah, let's do '60s Batman now because technically it's a movie.
Okay, so yeah, we'll put that in the movie section. Chris and I have watched. People know we've been doing this '60s Batman show, reviewing the episodes. But the '60s Batman cartoon came out, Batman vs. Two-Face. We both watched it, so let's review it. I liked it. I liked it a lot. What did you think?
Same here. Really enjoyed it. I watched it with the whole family, and everyone liked it. I mean, the kids were laughing along with everything. My girlfriend was rolling her eyes at the puns, but at the same time had a little giggle behind her.
Yeah.
I was just laughing hysterically the whole time. So,
the puns are so bad.
Oh, they're awful, but I love them.
Yeah. The whole plot is like, well, first you have William Shatner doing the voice of Two-Face, which was amazing.
That was fantastic.
And then he was doing the voice, like his Harvey Dent and then his Two-Face was awesome. He was like, and you could tell when he was doing the voice acting, they shoved like cotton balls in like half of his mouth or something when he was doing the Two-Face part. It was great. The voice acting was on point. The plot was ridiculous. Two-Face is kind of stealing evil from all the villains, like their evil, I don't know, evil juice or something.
Yeah, like their evil essence.
Yeah, evil essence. And then partway through the movie, Robin gets infected with it, and he has to like fight Robin.
Do a quick rewind. So we got an introduction of 2 new characters as well, other than Two-Face. But so Hugo Strange is in this.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Hugo Strange. Yep.
And he's the one that comes up with a machine that kind of like sucks the evil out of all the bad guys.
Yeah.
And there was a moment there where I sat there and I thought of you because all I could think of is, oh man, Ricker is probably losing his fucking mind right now. And that's when the nurse comes in and it's Dr. Harley Quinzel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she comes in and there's like it's just kind of an homage thing, like it's a quick nod and she winks at Joker winks back. And yeah, they take all the evil out of the different villains. And that's, and then it somehow comes in contact with Harvey Dent, and that's how he becomes Two-Face.
Yeah, so the whole movie, he's kind of like, he's tricking Batman or Robin to thinking that he's still the good Harvey Dent, but he's really evil. And then when we talk about this, he attaches him to the giant coin towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a scene in the movie where we get to the Batcave and they have the giant T-Rex there already, but they don't have the giant penny or coin yet, and that's part of the plot is they get tied to a coin and there's a 50-50 shot, like the coin flips, and there's like a 50-50 shot whether they land face down on the spikes or the coin lays like face down so they survive. It's a pretty interesting way to kill someone that has Two-Face.
The fight scenes were really great. They were really well choreographed in a way that was like cool, but at the same time gave homage to like the crappiness of the fights in the old show.
Oh yeah.
And I loved how they also kind of tied in a couple other villains. Like we got King Tut for a little bit.
Egghead, was it Egghead in it?
Egghead was in it as a background character at that point. And
we
also
shitty
got
villains.
Bookworm.
Yes. Yeah, that was awesome.
And I know you've been waiting for it. My bat gadget for this was the mini Bazooka.
Yeah, I don't know. I had to be mini, but yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was the fact that it was mini that I loved.
It just had to be a mini bazooka.
Yeah, overall, I really liked it. I wish we could get more with Adam West. It looks like we might get more without him. We'll see how that goes. But overall, I think it was a great kind of send off for Adam West. And
yeah, for sure. Any fan of the animated DC stuff or Adam West and the 60s Batman should just watch it. It's great. Out of 10, what do you give it out of 10?
I'll give it like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Only because it's not live action.
And the bonus features are fantastic. If you haven't gone through those, I don't know if you got the Blu-ray or not, but
no, I bought it on Amazon first, and then I was going to get the Blu-ray. What are the bonus features?
There's some talks with some of the cast, especially Burt Ward, Comic-Con panel.
Oh, really?
Stuff like that, yeah. And the Comic-Con panel has Julie Newmar, Kevin Smith, Ralph Garman, and then the producer of the movie.
Oh.
So, and anyone that knows how big of a fan we are of Kevin Smith, Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman, one of my favorite podcasts. So those two together is always a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Yeah, so now we can talk about TV that we've been neglecting for like 2 weeks. The Punisher finally got a release date.
Which we talked about earlier, November 12th.
17th.
Or 17th. Wow.
Which is the day, that Thursday night, Justice League comes out, and then do you think they play it? So let's talk about this for a second. Justice League comes out Thursday night, and Punisher comes out Friday. Well, the way they released Stranger Things, it was Friday at like 3 a.m. It wasn't midnight because of like California, but they're, people with a show as popular as Punisher, this might even be more popular than Stranger Things. I don't know, but people are going to stay in and watch this all weekend, right?
This is blatantly done on purpose. They did the same thing with
Wow.
Batman v Superman.
I can't believe this.
I think it was Punisher Season 2 that came out for Batman v Superman. But they've done it before.
Daredevil. Yeah, you're right. It was Daredevil Season 2. Yeah.
Today.
Or would you be without me correcting all your mistakes? Yeah, that is interesting. But this is going to be like, I mean, I'm gonna have both watched that weekend.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't really think it's gonna be too. I mean, Netflix is always going to be there, right? So I think you're going to have a lot of people still going to the opening night of Justice League.
Well, it didn't affect Batman v Superman. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, true. They still made like $800 million and lost money. How do you? Whatever. We're not gonna get into that. How you lose money making $800 million.
That Martha seemed to
yeah. So that's happening. I want to talk about Stranger Things really quick.
The floor is
Stranger Things, 9 episodes. I give it like an 8.5 out of 10, and I would give season 1 a 9 out of 10. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of building upon the universe. without giving too much away, there's more building upon the universe. There's the gang is all there. Everybody's there. Everybody's back. There's a couple of new kids at school, so we get some new characters introduced. It just overall, it's great, and I'm ready for season 3. They never really said whether there's gonna be a season 3 or not. I think they kind of announced that there's gonna be a season 3.
It got renewed just the other day.
Just the other day, okay. Yeah, so I mean, it didn't end on a cliffhanger or anything, but it ended so there could there's other things they could do with this universe, and I mean, there's a whole another dimension that's like the Upside Down is basically the Upside Down of Earth. So, yeah, it was great. I mean, obviously, if you're a fan of the first Stranger Things, you're gonna watch the second Stranger Things, and yeah, it was good.
Cool.
And you could tell they had a lot of bigger budget for this season. There's a lot more CGI, and all the child actors are fantastic. I will say one thing: there's this isn't a spoiler, because anybody that catches it, there's a part in the story where one of the characters is talking about, like, he's a new character. It's actually Samwise Gamgee, isn't it, this season? But he's like, it's weird to see him like playing an older, like, I don't know, father figure or something, like middle-aged man. But he's telling a story of like how you should face your fears, and he talks about how he was terrorized as a clown when he was a kid, back in whatever year or wherever he was, and I think it was in Maine. But it was a complete nod to it, like, oh yeah, I was terrified of a clown, I faced my fears, and like had a nightmare about a clown. And I remember the creator of the show had said that, like, Stranger Things, it was greatly inspired by it and Stephen King and stuff, and you can see that while you're watching the shows. But it was just cool to hear him like tell a story about like a nightmare about a clown, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's all I have to say about it. I mean, it's great when you finally watch him eventually.
Cool. So we got lots of CW talk.
Yeah, CW. The crossover was announced for all these shows, and it is titled Crisis. So I know we talked about we're going to see the crime syndicate for the thing, but there's definitely something happening with multiple universes there.
Yeah, DC does not take the word crisis lightly, so expect something new.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's talk about Flash. I'm all caught up on Flash. I really like the
caught up on Flash.
All right, Chris is caught up. So disappointed that the Thinker is not Metron. Let's talk about that for a second.
Oh.
You get a guy in a floating chair with a bunch of things attached to his head that knows everything, and you're not going to call him Metron. You're just going to call him the Thinker.
So, to get in the real world now, like, after I watched the first episode, I remember texting you, and I was like, holy shit, is that Metron? So
I was like,
excited,
no.
like, beyond like, giddy. And you texted me back with the most, like, bummer answer ever. Like, no, dude, it's the Thinker. It's like, well, I hate us now.
It's like, no, it's just a shitty villain. And they do that because he says, like, I'm thinking, and that's what he says in the comic when they reveal him. It's like, wow. I do, so let's all 3 episodes together. It's turned into like a villain of the week again, which is fine. Basically, we find out when Barry comes back in from the Speed Force, he like hits a bus and turns a bunch of metahumans into metahumans.
People into metahumans.
Yeah, people into metahumans. But I like a lot of people I've talked to are kind of unhappy with the last few episodes. I like the really cheesiness. I love the really corny, cheesy jokes. I'm a huge fan of all that stuff. But I don't like the fact that Iris is part of the team still. Like, I want Iris to be like the investigator. I want her to have her own thing, like being a reporter, do like the Lois Lane thing. Like, she doesn't need to be part of the team, like they did with Felicity and Arrow, right? They just took her and made her part of the team, like she's Team Arrow. I just don't. Number one, I don't think she's qualified.
No way she qualified.
And it's just because like it's a lot of high tech stuff, and she just jumped right into it out of nowhere. And I just don't. I don't know, the whole working with your maybe it'll be resolved in the season because they have some issues. It seems like with people who are in a relationship and working together. They've already hinted at that, so that might change. I know we have, how many more villains are they going to reveal? Like 8 or 9, I think we still have to see. I think there's 12 total.
There's 12 total. We've seen 2, right?
Yeah, 2. That's right. We've seen the guy who can hack people and the Jinx girl. Which I like that whole story they did with her. The girl who had really bad luck, and then that was her metahuman. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, so we're gonna get 10 more votes. So basically, they're telling us it's gonna be like a villain of the week type of thing. I've been liking it so far.
I really like it too. First of all, the meta of the week or the villain of the week is a cool format for that show, but also it seems like they're picking villains that can kind of counter his powers in some way. Like the hacker could hack into his suit and like control some of the things with his suit, and then the Jinx woman, like the scene literally where like someone dumps over a giant pile of marbles and he trips on marbles, like that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I hope they keep up with that theme of like, let's not just find a way to have them, punching all the time or throwing powers at each other. Like, let's find a way to kind of counteract Flash's powers and see how he can overcome them. I think that's the greatness of any superhero story is when you get that.
Yeah.
I mean, something Mark Waid does really well that we both like, that he knows how to take a hero and find the counter to that in a way that we never would have thought of and make him overcome it. So I hope that's what this season's more about. And it seems so, because the next episode is, I think Danny Trejo's in it, if I saw correctly.
Yeah, I don't know what he's playing. I'm so excited. Yeah.
He better be Machete.
Danny Trejo. Yeah, if he's just Machete, that'd be awesome. They did something really funny. There's a Flash issue where he's like blown up like a balloon on it, like really fat.
Yeah.
And they did that with the scene where his suit gets hacked and has like a flotation device. He like blows up like a balloon and gets really fat. Like that was just copy paste one of the Flash issues. It was awesome to see. So they're probably looking through the issues and they're like, oh man, we could probably do this.
Yeah, they definitely did, because there's a scene in one of the Flash, and I didn't read this personally, I heard about it secondhand, but there's a scene in one of the Flash issues where Wally dresses up as the Flash, and the Samuroid stabs him with the sword, exactly like he does in the show.
Oh,
so
okay.
They're really taking scenes from the comics and just like finding ways to put them into the show. It's really cool.
So if anybody wants to look it up, it's Flash number 115. And the cover says the day the Flash weighed 1,000 pounds. And it's Flash like running, and there's like 3 sections of him. And it says, "What's happening to me? I'm becoming so fat. I can hardly run." And then he's just a huge fat Flash on the cover. It's one of my favorite covers. I just remember seeing that cover. It typically comes up in like the top, like, I don't know if you ever look up like the top 50 most ridiculous comic book covers. That one always pops up. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. Yeah, so that was definitely like a nod to that, I think.
It also seems like we're getting an elongated man next episode too.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Ralph Dibny. Yeah, I'd be so cool with that. Legends of Tomorrow. I am an episode behind on it, but yeah. So the first couple episodes are good. Nothing really different about the show. I mean, it's just they need a couple new people is what they need.
No, and I think we talked about it when they first announced this show. One of the things I really hoped for this show was that they would mix up the cast every year, and it seems like they did. The second season, they switched things up and kind of found, but now it feels like they found their cast and that's what they want to stick with. And my only issue with it is it seems more samey. It's not bad. It's just more of the same. I'm hoping they do something cool to kind of.
Yeah, they need to. I think to get people back into it. And if I heard correctly, they're adding Constantine to the mix.
Yes, and Constantine also. I don't know if we talked about this or not, but he has a cartoon coming out as well. So.
Yeah. So if he shows up to the cast, I think that'd be great. That's like the thing we need within the cast is Constantine, and especially if they get into like magical stuff, that would be really cool. I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of lot they can do with that. So.
Yep. Arrow. I am behind 2 episodes on Arrow because I'm kind of just pissed at Arrow. So you tell me what's going on here.
So I still really love Arrow. So so everyone knows. I mean, you saw it in the Flash issue. Everyone knows that Ollie is the Green Arrow now. So
yeah,
he has stepped down as a Green Arrow and is going to be a full-time dad, quote unquote. And the team is going on without him. And they got Diggle as the Green Arrow now, which is interesting. They were kind of running across this problem where they were like, yeah, he's doing good, but someone's going to notice that he's not shooting arrows anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, there's that, and then at the end of the most recent episode, they found a way for him to shoot arrows. He's going to have a crossbow that shoots arrows instead of bolts.
Oh, nice.
Which is interesting. And then we also find out that, if you remember from last season, Diggle has a stutter, and there's something wrong with him. Well, he's taking some sort of drug to overcome that. So that was kind of the cliffhanger we got. We'll see what comes of that. Overall,
he has I don't remember that him having a stutter. I don't know if I remember that.
Yeah, he had like a stutter in his arm where he couldn't shoot properly.
Oh yeah, he had yeah.
So yeah, people were worried about that. He was hesitating a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden he seems like he's got it together, and we find out it's most likely because of this drug he's taking.
Oh boy.
So yeah, something's gonna happen there. But it's been pretty good. I mean, it's Arrow. If you don't like Arrow, you're not gonna like Arrow. It doesn't seem like they're gonna change it because it's working for them.
Yeah.
But I really like it. I think it's my favorite of the 4 CW shows.
I just gotta get back. I spent all my time on Stranger Things this weekend.
Yeah,
is the problem.
And then I think all that's left is the Supergirl.
Yeah, I'm 2 episodes behind on Supergirl, but
the season first episode then, right?
Yeah, the season premiere was really good though.
Yeah, same here.
I think they're doing some interesting stuff. I think we have another type of alien person that's going to be in this season. I haven't watched the episodes, but I know they focus more on that girl too later in the episodes. The one that like saves her daughter by lifting up that grate.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's another Kryptonian or what, but it's pretty interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about in the first episode, but did like it. Time has gotten in the way.
Yep. All right, and, comics.
Well, first, did you watch the first episode of Walking Dead?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Walking Dead. Yeah, I forgot it's back on. Yeah. What did you think? Interesting stuff happening.
I absolutely loved it.
Let's talk about one thing, okay? If you go to attack someone, you don't just like shoot the windows.
Yeah, that was weird, but it seemed like they're just trying to cause harm.
Or attack the walk or bring the walkers over. I'm not sure.
I think that was another part of it. Is they had it timed out so that the walkers would be in the vicinity at that time, and that was kind of let's do damage and send the walkers there at the same time.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
It was similar to how it happened in the comics. Not exactly, but similar.
Yep.
But I really liked it. It was a good back and forth between Rick and Negan. It sets up exactly what the season's about. We got a glimpse into what the next arc is, because we talked about the old man Rick stuff.
Yeah. So they did. So let's talk about that. We got 2 flash forwards, right?
Yep.
We got one with like Rick sitting there like he's been crying his eyes out. So obviously someone's gonna die. And then we get him. And then we get him with the beard, like full grow, like huge beard, which was awesome.
And the flat top haircut.
Yeah. So I was really excited about that. I'm wondering how we get to one point and how we get to the other, and I'm sure they'll be showing those like.
Well, it seemed like the flash forward where he had the beard was an homage to the next story arc. If if you're thinking about it in terms of the comics, right after the Negan War, it goes forward and we kind of have a time jump, and the community is thriving, and they've got all these gardens going and everything. It seems like that's what they're hinting towards.
Mm-hmm.
But they also had probably my favorite line Negan says, and it's so corny, but it's so great.
Yeah.
It's when he walks up to the priest and goes, "I hope you're wearing your shitting pants."
Yeah.
Shit your pants.
Yeah, because you're about to shit your pants. I was like, what? Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, so the episode ends with him locked away with Negan, and the zombies kind of surround the building that they're stuck in.
Yeah.
So
once again, very similar to what happened in the comics.
Yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen, if they're gonna he's gonna, I don't know, try to talk some sense in Negan, which I don't think would really happen, but I guess we'll find out, right?
And so now the rumor mill is saying that tonight a character we thought was dead is actually not dead and coming back in tonight's episode. So everyone's trying to figure out who that is.
Abraham? How did he die? I can't remember. No.
See, everyone's going and saying it's Rick's wife. But didn't they kill Rick's wife?
Yeah.
They didn't show it, but
I thought so.
yeah, I thought Rick no, it wasn't Rick. It was Carl.
What if Shane comes back?
Oh my god, it'd be fantastic.
Did you notice they did a thing on the show? Negan said something like the way Shane says it. I can't remember what the line was, but when they show up, he says it just like Shane used to. I can't remember. It's just some word that Shane used to pronounce weird.
Is it you can't protect him, Rick?
No, it's not like that. It was almost like come here or something like that. But it was something Shane used to say all the time. I'll have to look it up, but yeah, he said it like he used to. So
yeah.
But I mean, he turned into a zombie. He got shot in the head and then was buried 6 feet under. So I don't think he's coming back from that.
So overall,
I really don't know. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was good.
I thought it was
a good
start.
Yeah, it was a good first episode. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. Eugene's still being a little bitch. So I guess we'll find out what happens. Now the moment you've all been waiting for. Comics.
Time for comics.
Comics. Okay. Yeah, so I saw this piece of news and I was really excited for it, obviously. The Grant Morrison is going to be co-writing the Dark Knight's Rising: The Wild Hunt for the Metal tie-ins, which is cool because we haven't seen Grant Morrison write anything Batman since when Batman Incorporated, I think, hit New 52. He was writing that for a little. Oh no, I'm sorry. He did. He also did Action Comics for like the first couple trades in New 52 as well. But other than that, we haven't seen him do.
He's done DC stuff, but he hasn't done Batman in a while.
Yeah, Batman stuff. Yeah,
that Wonder Woman Earth one.
Yep. So I'm excited to have him back doing stuff. I'm sure if there's anybody, that's good at keeping universes in order and talking about the multiverse itself, it's probably him. He's probably one of the only ones that can do it.
Yeah. And I think it's perfect because they do talk a lot about stuff that happened in Multiversity. Like, they even show you the map of the multiverse from Multiversity.
Yeah, yeah.
So to bring him in to kind of talk more about that is just a perfect fit. So
yeah, I'm excited. And yeah, it makes sense because each metal universe is just a negative version of the universe they come from. So it makes sense. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So we've been reading some stuff, right? What have we been reading here?
Got a big ass stack. So
yeah, a couple weeks ago. So let's talk about the latest Invincible, right? Pretty sad issue. It's kind of like I forget what part it is out of the 12 issues.
Part
The 12
9,
issue.
12.
Yeah, so basically the fight's over, Thrag's gone. We find out that Mark's father isn't healing properly, and he just eventually dies in the issue, and it's really sad.
Yeah, because he goes real slowly, and
Yeah, it's like, couldn't they just do a quick, like, come on, Kirkman. Yeah, so they kill him off. Mark basically said it was his dying wish for Mark to be the head of the Vulturemites, and then he kind of realizes, he tells Eve that he wasn't going to do it, but he realizes the only way for them to be safe is to run the Vulturemite Empire, because there's no way the people won't stop coming to hurt them. And then the issue ends with them getting to Earth, and Robot is waiting there for him. Dun dun dun! He's betrayed them again, so kind of knew that was coming.
which starts the Robot Wars next week.
Yeah, the Robot Wars. Yeah, so we'll see what happens to that. I know he captured all the Vulturemite children that were on Earth.
Yeah.
And rounded them up, so we'll see what he's doing there. I'm sure he has some crazy psychotic plan put together. Batman 33, that was a great issue. First of all, they bring back the desert Batman suit from Batman vs Superman with the goggles and the trench coat, and he's kind of riding around the desert with Catwoman. And they get to this country, and it's like a cave, and I can't remember what the name of the cave was, but basically it's a city, and you're not allowed in the city by ordinance of the Justice League. And if you enter the city, the Justice League is alerted, but if you go in, they can't follow you in there. So he's doing something against the rules of the Justice League, and he gets to this entrance, and there's this giant guy saying, like, I've been put here to protect this entrance, blah, blah, blah. Basically, Catwoman kicks his ass, and then the Justice League is alerted that he's going into the city. Well, Alfred has all the Robins grouped up in the in Wayne Manor, and basically tells them, like, he thinks Bruce is going off the deep end this time. And we find out at the end of the issue, he wants to get inside the city because it is where Talia al Ghul lives. And he, in order to remarry or to get married with Catwoman, they basically need to kill Talia al Ghul so he can legally be married. So that was pretty interesting. I didn't see that coming. Kind of interested to see what happens there, but that was basically like him entering the city and her being like, yeah, he's dead. He shouldn't have done that. So that was pretty cool. Superman 33. I loved it. We got Lex Luthor comes back into the scene. He might have been in Action Comics for a little bit, but he's got his super suit and he's helping people. And then we find out he gets like captured, and it has something to do with the New Gods or Apocalypse. Yeah, so I'm all about that. Basically, the issue goes with them, like, Lex keeps trying to call for help, and Clark's just like, no, he calls me all the time. We don't need to help him.
Yeah.
And then finally,
Luthor has to come back and get his seat of power in Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And Superman comes to help him, and now there's going to be a war for the throne of Apocalypse, which is just so awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be War in Apocalypse. I'm ready for it. It went from,
better be some baby Darkseid. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, baby Darkseid's New Gods. Well, we already saw Granny Goodness, right? She was fighting. She was in the issue. So hopefully we get more New Gods out of that. Saga from this week. You want to talk about Saga? That was a pretty good issue.
Yeah.
We got more of I can't remember the little furry guy's name, but I love seeing him. Gus, yeah.
Gus.
Yeah, so we got a really good issue of it was like it was a really suspenseful issue. They're hunting, they're hungry. I forgot about them being on the planet, stuck without Marco and everyone. So they're basically starving, and they need to kill this monster, but only the kid robot can see it. So They go after that monster, and Kid Robot kind of has like an internal struggle to kill something like he doesn't want to kill, right? Which was interesting.
Fiona Staples takes the show on this one because the way she drew that monster that was invisible but could be seen only by the kid was terrifying.
Yeah, it was really terrifying.
And then it ends in a way that it seems we can get more Kid Robot and Hazel together, which should be a lot of fun. So great issue. I love this book so much.
Yeah, and she says, yeah, I know, it's so good. And she says at the end of the issue, Hazel does. Hazel's the one narrating the book, as she is all the time. But she says, like, this is the start of my brother. So they obviously become, like, really good friends over time. Which is awesome.
So we got 2 metal tie-in books.
Yeah. Remind me which ones they were, because I think I read...
we can start with The Drowned from last week.
Yes, The Drowned. What a great issue. Did you read that?
Yes.
You want to talk about it? Because it's one of your favorite characters, right? Is Aquaman, so...
Yeah, it just reminds everybody how badass Aquaman is. So...
In case y'all didn't know, Aquaman's pretty badass. I've been telling everyone that for years.
Yeah, I'm not one of these Johnny-come-latelys. So, on Earth -11... the genders and everybody is flipped. So instead of Batman, it's it's Batwoman, but I mean it's Aquaman is a woman, Batman's a woman, so on and so forth. So there's a fight between the Batwoman and the Aquawoman, and the Batwoman's suit in this is so awesome. And so Batwoman ends up killing Aquawoman and finds a way to like genetically modify herself to have similar powers. And just destroys her world, and then like everyone else destroys her world and then joins these people. But she comes back and fights Aquaman and Mera, and the fight is just so great. And the fact that she takes over Mera at the end there, like these books have been so great, and every single one has just been so true to the character they're trying to take over. I love them.
And we find out that she can summon like the Dead Sea, right? Like all the death and decay of it's awesome. It's so awesome. That was one of the I think that might have been one of my favorites so far.
Yeah. And then we got the Batman the Merciless.
Yeah, that one, and then I read that, and I was like, "Holy shit, this one's really good too." So that's the Batman that's fighting Ares with Wonder Woman, and that's from the universe where he has a relationship with Wonder Woman. And it, I mean, at least it seems that way. But they're fighting, and he has the urge to put the helmet on, and then he gets overpowered by it. And wants to have war his way and stuff. So, man, was that awesome just seeing it. And when he takes the helmet off, we see a part of the issue where he takes the helmet off and he has like he's white hair and a beard. Yeah. Dude, so awesome.
And his whole thing of like the Batman of that world is weak because he refuses to kill. Like that's what's holding him back.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Devastator this week.
I know Devastator is the Batman that is infected by Doomsday.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
You got anything else?
No, I had Outcast this week, but I did not get to read that yet, so
okay.
A little behind.
Speed run through mine. Action Comics 990, continuing the Oz storyline. So Jor-El has taken John, Superman's son, and showed him this other world where everybody has powers and where he doesn't have to hide and all this, and basically turns him to his side. And it creates an interesting dynamic because now Superman's trying to fight Jor-El, but John is helping defend him. Books still rely on the same themes. A lot of like, you need to leave because because humanity doesn't deserve you. But there is a hint also towards Doomsday Clock, because Jor-El says that he's trying to save his family from something that not even the Justice League can fight, which has to be Dr. Manhattan, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you finish Captain Phasma?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay, Captain Phasma's really good. I won't get too much into it, but it literally ends and says like to be continued in The Last Jedi. So it's going right up against that.
That's awesome.
Mighty Thor 700. I'm not gonna talk too much about this because it's a huge book, but really great if you're not reading Thor. This is a terrible place to start. It's a lot of storylines coming together and then building upon new ones. But this has every Thor imaginable. It has the Unworthy Thor. It has the Mighty Thor. It has the War Thor. It has Throg, the Frog of Thunder.
Oh, that is so awesome.
And it even has a glimpse in the future where Odin's son becomes Thor again and what his suit will look like. Skip the realm. I'll get this over with. My Little Pony 58. I hate that so much.
Yes.
It's utter trash. That's it. Okay. You especially, Mike, need to look forward to this. Knights of the Fifth Dimension.
Yes.
I got myself a copy from New York Comic Con signed by Mr. Flanagan there. This book is all about this team that lives in a parallel dimension that summons somebody to keep their power available, and their power comes through the imagination and popularity of our world. So they get a comic book creator to create a comic about them, and he creates all these comics, and they basically like they're the Justice League or the the Avengers of this world, where there's all these different cartoons of them and action figures and so on and so forth, but their powers start to wane as they become less popular, and the person who was creating this comic had to pass it on to the next person. So they're kind of hinting towards this idea of like the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby passing it on to John Byrne idea. But the thing is that these people are real and they're actually fighting something in this other dimension, and it's got this like really crazy psychedelic vibe to it. I love it so much. I highly recommend it. It's not out yet. This was something you could get through Blue Juice Comics online for New York Comic.
Is it going to be available in stores soon, you think? Or
yes, they said it's going to be available in stores next year. Walt Flanagan, the artist, he said that he wants to finish it before they actually put it into production because he is notoriously bad at hitting deadlines. So his new thing is finish the whole book, then we'll solicit it.
Yeah.
And then I picked up Here's Negan, the hardcover.
Oh, nice.
Which collected all those Image Plus issues.
Yep.
This is really cool. It was like a backstory in Negan, how he became Negan. It goes through Lucille dying, his wife Lucille. It goes through his life before the zombie outbreak, where he was like consistently cheating on his wife, and then she gets cancer. He realizes how much he loves her, and like breaks off all of his other relationships, and like her even being like, "What are you, a fucking idiot? Like you picked the one that's dying."
Yeah. What the hell?
And then like him going into the apocalypse and meeting these people and people who betray him and how he becomes cynical and then how he gains power and starts his whole community. Really good if you're a Walking Dead fan. It's fantastic.
I'll have to pick it up. I forgot that came out, so yeah. I'll have to grab it.
It's really worth it, and it's Kirkman Adler, so it's like official Walking Dead shit.
Yeah, official.
The most official of the official. But that's all I got. So, Mike,
all right. They can find me at Ricker621 on Instagram right now, or the same thing on Twitter. I'm still trying to get back into Twitter. Hopefully I can get back into it. I will be talking about Shirtless Bear Fighter next episode. I just gotta catch up on a few issues. So, but yeah.
Cool. You can find me on Instagram at Fortress News Chris and on Twitter at Fortress Chris. And Forge Comic News has an official Twitter now too. It's FCN_official.
Yes.
Follow it there, and always forgecomic.news.com. Been talking with creators. We got some great previews up. If you guys liked Heat issue 1, I have a preview up for issue 2. I got some previews going for the guys at Wayward Raven. A bunch of cool stuff, and then as always the top 5 videos and everything else we do on there. So go check that out, and watch us on YouTube. The like button down there. Subscribe, chat. The community keeps growing. The numbers keep going up. So, thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I don't know what we're doing right. Seems that we're always doing stuff wrong. So
yeah,
good.
It feels like from our position that we are, but stuff keeps growing, and yeah, keep it growing because then we can do more. And as always, share with your friends, and thanks for watching.